tell me this. Will this season impact Rodgers' legacy?
I think it can only affect it positively. When you look at the fact that Aaron Rodgers came here, his legacy is already cemented. Four-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. And, I think sometimes we forget history. Like, we don't talk about Brett Favre as a Jet. We don't talk about Joe Montana as a Kansas City Chief because they didn't win. So it is not included in their legacy. But if they're able to do what Matthew Stafford did when he changed locations after being somewhere for a long time and having a certain label and win a championship, then it only can elevate him into the upper room when you think about, guys that have won 2 titles. And the fact if he's able to win one for a team like the Jets, I think it pushes him past, right there with Peyton Manning and some of the other greats. I think he's able to skip a step. If you win one with the Jets, I think that's almost like getting 1.5. So I think he's going to get a boost from that.
See, everything you said is why I think this season, his tenure with the Jets has a huge impact on his legacy, because right now, Aaron Rodgers is on the same list as guys like Nick Foles and Joe Flacco. And when you think about the talent that Aaron Rodgers has, there's no way his name should be next to those. No offense to those guys, but let's be serious, right? Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets, why is he even in Florham Park? Because his old team was ready to get rid of him. They were like, okay, this is enough now. We have the young kid. We're ready to go on. That's what it is. Aaron talked about it. Aaron said, you know what? My phone hasn't been ringing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe cell service. I don't know. They didn't reach out to me. He felt some type of way because the Packers were ready to move on. So when we look at Aaron Rodgers, his tenure with the Jets can change everything. Yes, he's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt. But he's still a guy, if he only goes down with 1 Super Bowl, we're going to look at him like, he was way too talented to only get 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, like he underperformed.
Yeah.
And to your point, before I get to you, Sam, as far as the Packers, look what Jordan Love did. He had a heck of a season, knocked off some folks in the playoffs, and showed that he is the guy. So there's got to be even more of an edge. Sam, where are you on this in terms of Rodgers' legacy?
Yeah, this season will absolutely impact Aaron Rodgers' legacy. And I think even more so from a current cultural perspective. I just think about what Aaron Rodgers did in Green Bay and all the Pro Bowls and all the MVPs and going to a Super Bowl and winning 1 Super Bowl, which was positive. But then you go to New York and you're in a lot of ways like the guy. You're supposed to be the one to rejuvenate this whole team and the franchise and find a way to win with all the talent defensively, all the talent on offense, right? Young talent. Then 4 plays in, you get injured. Okay, great. Mulligan, no big deal. But if you come back again this year and you don't do what you said you were going to do, what you hoped you were going to do, all of a sudden, all the hype that was built up into a guy who could have been a 2-time Super Bowl champion on 2 different teams, it kind of dwindles down a little bit. Now, to Bart's point, right, he's still 4-time MVP, he's still one of the greatest to ever do it. Kmart, I'm not going to say he's on the same list as Nick Foles, right? He's more talented as a passer than Nick Foles, one of the most talented passers and quarterbacks to ever play. But people don't just look at talent. People also look at Super Bowl champions, and championships. And I think it matters when you're the missing link, the missing piece, and you don't do it. Now, if you do it, huge opportunity. If you don't do it, it hinders his current cultural conversation of where he lines up in the all-time greats.
So can I just ask, Acho, how many Super Bowls does Nick Foles have?
But
Nick has 1. But my point is not about just Super Bowls. I also said
right,
it's talent,
I know, but that's literally
I'm talking about the talent as well, right?
Getting the 2 puts in a much smaller list.
Yeah, but Super Bowls doesn't really measure the greatness as an individual player.
Correct.
I mean, because we'll put Dan Marino as one of the best quarterbacks to do it. He has no Super Bowls, and he's above that list as well.
Bart,
no, agree.
I got to pause you right now.
Okay.
Correct.
Aaron Rodgers is one of the most special talents, right?
That is true.
We were saying he's better than a guy like a Tom Brady, even a Peyton Manning. And I get that it's a team sport. Talent-wise, absolutely, right? So you'd say he's underperformed by just having 1 ring, considering what his talent is.
Absolutely.
Those guys both went to different destinations. They got a ring. He had a year off. How solid is this team? They put all the pieces around him. So is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Absolutely.
Yes. Right.
But to Acho's point, in terms of the cultural conversation, he's not going to be up there as like one of the top guys with just 1 ring and failing at the stop.
But I think he'll be one of those second tiers. I know right now maybe
with who?
He shouldn't be a second tier, though.
He's not supposed to be.
He's there with Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning.
But he's so much better than them. He's so much more talented than them. And you know I love Eli. That's my quarterback.
Yes. But I mean, I think he's still there, right there with John Elway, even with 1 Super Bowl. right? It's just one of those things. It's this
No.
list
No.
right
He-
now that Patrick Mahomes is in, and
Yeah,
Tom
okay,
Brady
I'm
and
glad
Joe
you said Patrick Mahomes.
Montana.
I'm glad you said it.
I mean, he's
because
still-
how long has Patrick been in the league?
I understand
Patrick
that,
has more,
but it's not how you start; it's how you finish. And we don't know if this
Yeah,
is going
so
to be
he's-
it for Patrick. Patrick
So-
is there, but Patrick is right there in that second tier. as
Sam,
well.
you have the final word here.
Yeah, you can't just look at Super Bowls alone, right? I think about it's more than just Super Bowls, right? Guys like Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, but you're not going to say, man, he's just as talented as Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is supremely talented as a passer, but another Super Bowl would cement his legacy. Get him with 2 guys like Peyton Manning. Now all of a sudden you have the MVPs, you have the Super Bowls. You've done it at different franchises, cementing a legacy.
Yeah, it's part of a different conversation. All right, I got to hit the top of the hour. This cruel.